For more on the job prospects of college grads, we're joined by Caren Merrick, the founder and CEO of Pocket Mentor, a mobile mentoring app. Thank you so much for joining us, Caren.
Thank you.
Well, about 1.9 million students will graduate in the United States this year. It's a scary time for many, but the job market for U.S. college grads is the best it's been in years. Why is that?
Well, I think companies are definitely hiring, and something that we're not talking enough about is the fact that a lot of baby boomers are getting ready to retire.
So we're seeing that both there's people exiting the job market, and at the same time we're seeing the economy is turning around. But what kind of jobs out there offer the best opportunities for college grads in terms of pay and also growth potential?
Well, there's a big need for a lot of software developers, for example, and almost any kind of engineering, you will be able to find a job. And also, as your segment showed, accounting and financial services, there's a big demand for those.
Now, those degrees are not necessarily what was considered sexy for certain generations. I mean, math, science, and engineering, sure, they have the edge when it comes to hunting for work. But, you know, for people who don't have an interest in the STEM careers, how are the job prospects for students who have different degrees than those STEM fields? Well,
you know, every business needs customer service representatives, for example. They need people for HR and for operations. They need people who are really good at communications. Employers in the U.S. say that the #1 complaint they have about recent hires is that they don't have great communication skills. So anyone who can be good at speaking and good at writing will probably be able to get a job.
So you think that there's been too much focus on having the right degree per se? And is it really just a question about finding something you like and just getting a degree and then getting that first job? Is that really what's more important than the actual degree?
Well, I do believe that, because if you look at, for example, the CEOs of the Global 2000, there are a great many of them who are not using their degree, but they get a job, they figure out what they're good at, and they work hard, and that becomes their platform, and they can build a whole career. The most important thing is your first job, but studies also show that in America, people will have 4 to 5, even 6 or more jobs in their career. So learning how to get a job and be good at the job search is really a great skill to have.
Okay, at the same time, though, there's a recent survey by Accenture that says that 80% of this year's grads consider the job outlook in their area of study before picking their major. It's a pragmatic approach. It seems to be working out in some ways, but do you think this is a positive or negative development? Because it seems that students are not necessarily thinking about what they're interested in, but more about what is going to provide them the best economic opportunities. Is that misguided?
I think it is probably playing it a bit too safe, because truly, once you get your first job, that's where you take your degree, but then you apply it and you learn by doing. And you make a name for yourself, you build contacts. That first job is really the most important aspect. And I know I've built a company from 0 to 1,100 people, and so often the people who were the best at what they did were not doing what their degree, the field of their degree.
Now, you mentioned that the most important thing is getting that first job, but that's also the hardest thing, is to get that first job. So you talk about sort of soft skills, good communication skills. So are you suggesting that this is not something you necessarily learn in university? This is something that you can learn elsewhere?
Well, right, as I said, American employers, their #1 complaint is that recent college graduates don't have communication skills. And online, you can find so many resources that you can take on your own. So if you're a recent college graduate, you can go online. My website, for example, yourpocketmentor.com, has a number of resources. And truly, you can do a search, find excellent resources to help you build your communication skills, your job search skills, your presentation skills, those so-called soft skills that matter so much.
But at the end of the day, do you still believe, though, that a college education is worth the investment? We're hearing a lot about how expensive it is, how many students are getting into debt. But at the same time, the unemployment rates for college-educated students is a lot lower than for those of high school education only. I mean, is it worth the investment, in your opinion, to go to college?
I absolutely believe it is. I think every study shows that your economic well-being is much better. College graduates earn more, they're happier. And I absolutely believe that a college degree is really a prerequisite. It teaches you how to think.
And lastly, you know, U.S. employers have been relying on foreign students as well as foreign workers to fill a gap in those STEM skills among U.S. students. Now, U.S. President Barack Obama has been pushing initiatives to encourage more Americans to gain those skills. Are the students here becoming more interested in those fields, or do you think there will come a time when the U.S. tech companies won't need as many foreign workers?
Well, I can tell you as a tech CEO and someone who has co-founded and grown a number of enterprise software companies that, in fact, there are not enough Americans with those skills now. So we definitely do need to continue to recruit from around the world and get the best and the brightest to work in our innovative economy. I don't think that we will ever have a time when we don't need highly skilled technology workers.
All right, thank you so much. That was Caren Merrick, the founder and the CEO of Pocket Mentor.
If you like what you just saw, follow us on social media and visit our website, CCTV-America.com.